Okay, world. It is July 19th, 2023. I'm sitting here with bold and courageous Nancy. Just a little background story if you have not checked out our channel yet. Nancy is a survivor of various forms of oppression and abuse. Nancy has been displaced from her home and her emotional and physical safety for some years now, and has encountered a few different systems that she would like to shed some light on. So thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So where do we begin, ma'am? Where did it all start?
Okay, let's start. Because of what happened to me in Salt Lake City, I don't want to get into it in Utah because I already made a video on that. Um, has led me to be in 7 shelters and 5 different cell phones just to survive and to save my life from these monsters that try to take my life.
So it
Um,
sounds like you've spent some years when you should be relaxing and resting after all the hard work you've put in your life, and you've had to run from a bunch of bullies that were picking on you, people of power maybe.
Yes, for sure. It was the Cottonwood Heights Police Department.
Right. And I will post a follow-up link in the comments to follow that story so that you can see Nancy elaborate on the corruption in Salt Lake City. So, Nance, after this injustice, where did this take you?
I want to talk about the shelter here in Oakland and International Boulevard. It's called Crossroads. And I don't think that people are really aware how bad the situation is there. So let me wake you up to the reality. I went there and I got accepted and I got put in a dorm upstairs with maybe 20, 25 women. Had my own bed and everything. But at my time there, about maybe a month, I never saw my case manager. I didn't know who she was for about 2.5 weeks. She never bothered to make contact with me. And then when she finally did make contact with me, it was at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. And I promise you, the only thing that I smelled on her breath was pure heavy beer at 8:50 a.m. in the morning. She was on her way in the shelter, in Crossroads Shelter, to clock in to work
Hmm.
8 to 10 hours with her breath smelling heavily of beer. I never kept that appointment. I never went back. Done.
Sure.
Obviously, this lady had no intentions and didn't want to help me.
Right.
Okay. Her name was like Deborah something or
Hmm.
Debbie's, I don't know, something like that. Then I witnessed a fight in this shelter from a crackhead, right? And I'm sorry, I'm not putting anybody down because I've done my own share and I'm not perfect by any means. But this woman was so heavily into her drugs that she attacked another woman. And she picked up furniture, her walking chair, and everything, and threw it at this woman. I was a witness to all this. I went straight to the director to let her know what had happened. She wrote everything down. The police were called. Well, let me tell you how it ended. The victim became the abuser thanks to my case manager and the director and the assistant director. Okay. The victim they made into the abuser.
And how did they do that? And why do you think
They
they would?
told, then my case manager goes to the abuser, and I hear her tell the abuser, she has nothing to worry about. We're not going to throw you out. You give good money here, you bring in good money. we're going to protect you. And that's exactly what they did.
So money talks.
Money freaking talks. Because when you have drug issues, they pay double.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't important because I was just homeless. But
Mhm.
she had more than homeless. She had
Mhm.
problems.
Right.
Okay. So
And maybe they were even using together. Who knows? Because even
you have dear
employees
breath
can
at
use.
8:50 in the morning,
Yes.
and you are actually lying to the police. You
Mhm.
lied to the
Mhm.
police because
Mhm.
you did it in front of me. But
Mhm.
I tried to tell them the truth. But Oakland, they don't give a damn. I mean, they're being under investigated as we speak, so they don't care.
Yeah, I think a
But-
lot of places.
But
are.
to actually make the victim the abuser
Victim
and
shaming.
the abuser the victim
Mhm.
shocked the hell out of me.
Right.
So I went to the director and we informed her what was going on.
Mhm.
She lied too. She
Yep.
protected the abuser
Directors can lie.
with alcohol breath at 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Which I would like to cut in here, Nance, for a sec, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I think this speaks to a epidemic that we're facing as a country right now of addiction. I think that anybody can be susceptible to substance use disorder. And in this particular environment where sobriety is key in terms of staffing, there needs to be accountability on that front. So I've noticed a lot that substance abuse has gone up significantly, at least in the city where I'm from, where even law officials I've seen get hammered and drive a car and have their buddies not give them a DUI. So there are some things happening within our society that you're pointing out right now, that there is substance use happening, not just with the residents of the homeless shelter, but also with the staff. So this sickness is permeating through every socioeconomic class.
Everywhere, yes.
This can create a sense of bond or unity with someone that could cause them to lie on an innocent person trying to do well, which is not okay.
It got so bad. After that, the abuse started and it got worse and worse.
Tell me a little bit about it.
It got to the point where the girl that they made into the abuser, who was the victim, actually started attacking me
Mm-hmm.
and spreading lies about me. I'm pretty sure they made some kind of a deal with her
Mm-hmm.
so she doesn't rat on them.
Mm-hmm.
So she became my abuser.
Mm-hmm.
The victim became
Yes.
my abuser.
Which
It got so bad that in front of staff, this victim that became the abuser jumped out of bed to attack, that even staff had to jump back and tell her, what the
Yep.
hell are you doing?
Yep. And
This
then
is the victim becoming the
Yep.
abuser.
which is textbook abuse. I know with domestic violence cases, with women that have held it in or not been heard or been blamed for circumstances when their husband or their partner has been abusive towards them, they explode. And then this explosion is like, well, look at what she's
And that's
like.
exactly what happened. It got so bad that I packed my stuff
Mhm.
and I left because I wasn't getting any help there. She wasn't doing anything for housing for me. My so-called case
Mhm.
manager would
Yeah.
be a breath at 8:50 a.m. in the morning.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to work with somebody like that.
Sure.
So I don't recommend Crossroads for anybody. If you're a woman that you want to be somebody and make something of yourself,
Mhm.
these people here, this staff, will tear you down.
Mhm.
They're the type of woman that you're not going to progress with
Yep.
them. They
Yep.
will hold you down.
Yep.
Don't go to this shelter.
Right.
Don't support this shelter. And those of you that are sending money to this shelter,
Mhm.
that's a big mistake.
Yes.
Where's your money going?
Yes.
You might want to ask.
I think that's a huge question that good people need to start asking, because
Mhm.
of course we want to give. There's still good in this world. We want to give to human trafficking organizations. We want to give to substance addiction treatment centers. We want to give to homeless centers. But what is being done with the funding, and who is being hired on staff with this money? It sounds like everyone deserves an advocate, and not everyone is receiving that fair, just treatment of advocacy, correct?
Correct. This shelter, I do not recommend. I mean, I rather stay in the streets than to go in that abusive
And that
shelter.
says a lot
And
because
that
it's
says a
very
lot. And
dangerous
that's
here.
really sad that I have to say that.
Yeah.
But it's the truth.
Yep.
Don't go to Crossroads on
Yep.
International Boulevard in Oakland. Stay the hell away from that
Audit.
place.
Audit. Let's do some
Oh,
checks and
definitely.
balances.
They need to be investigated.
Mhm.
And I feel sorry for the gentleman that spoke to me. I don't know what his title is, but he knew that he was being lied to. He works there,
Mhm.
and I don't know what title he has, but it looks like it's an important title.
Mhm.
So I'm giving you confirmation right now, sir. You got a lot of investigating to do because a lot of stuff is going on behind your back, and you're being lied to.
Mhm.
And these women, the director and my case manager, have beer breath and alcohol breath.
Mhm.
So something's not right in your shelter. And you were right. You said you had an idea. There you go. There goes your confirmation. You
Mhm.
were right.
I think the element of deception is something that's become very prevalent within coworkers. I think a lot of good people are used for their innocence, where they are made to believe a narrative of something happening for the better that's actually not happening or that's actually exploitive. So I think you're bringing up some very good points here.
I want to bring up two good shelters
Yes,
that
ma'am.
I want to praise. I mean, from all the negative that I've been experiencing,
Mhm.
this is my third year homeless. Third year.
Mhm.
It's not breaking me. I'm going forward because I'm actually doing some investigating work, undercover work, whatever you
Mhm.
want to call it.
Yep,
Okay?
God's work.
So I know what I'm talking about. There you go, God's work.
Mhm.
Okay, to tell the truth about these shelters, so you could stop finding fun. Okay, stop supporting these shelters
Mhm.
that are actually not doing what they're supposed to do with the funds that they are getting.
Yep.
Okay.
What does a good shelter look like to you, Nance?
Okay, my first one is Miss Lee in Houston, Texas. Oh my God, the Women's Center. That lady knows how to run a shelter. And her cook, I gotta throw in her cook, okay? Oh my God, una hispana que sabe cocinar. Eh? Oh my God, it took me back home to Puerto Rico, okay?
And doesn't it feel good when someone cares?
Yeah, and she will have a conversation with you. She will answer your questions, and it doesn't bother her.
Mhm.
Miss Lee is military, but not abusive.
Mhm.
Let me make that very clear. Military, but not abusive.
Assertive, not aggressive.
The only sad thing about the program is that it's only for, I think, a month or two.
Mhm.
This program, this shelter, I would definitely support. If I ever come into money,
Mhm.
Miss Lee, I would love to support your shelter and work with you. I think this shelter will benefit for a year to a year and a half because this lady is actually helping us.
Mhm.
Okay, she's actually helping us.
Mhm. And there's a cost efficient way to build a system
Yes,
to get all of our homeless shelters to be on the same page to not.
and she knows what she's doing.
Yes. So
Okay?
we need those good shelters
Right.
to lay the
The
foundation.
second one that I found is here in California. Okay, I'm not hiding anymore. Whoever wants to know, here in California, you want to come.
Yep.
I'll be waiting.
Yep.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
the next one that I want to honor is Saint Vincent de Paul.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know the correct address, but I know it's in Oakland too.
Okay.
Oh my God, that shelter, the cook alone
Mhm.
is a blessing.
Mhm.
She walks up and down. She talks about God. She says beautiful things. She walks up and down. Then her last walk, when she's done, she comes back down and she's praying, saying grace for the food. And then we are all allowed to eat. That is beautiful.
It makes you feel human
Never
again.
seen anything like that. Yes, but I felt privileged. I felt special.
You felt like a
The
human
love, a human being. There you go. The love that came from the cook.
being. Mhm.
Oh my God. They have security. Even security is respectful.
Mhm.
They did not raise their voice. They
Mhm.
talked to you like a human being.
Yep.
And you were treated like a human
Yep.
being.
And that makes a huge difference.
Oh my God. This is another shelter that should run a program for a year and a half.
Mhm. Those people deserve to be praised.
Yes,
The ones
that's
that
why I'm
actually through
praising
the
these
darkness,
people.
yes, because
They
light is
need to, because
contagious.
people don't know.
Yep.
Everybody keeps talking about bad shelters. No,
Mhm.
they're good ones out there. You're
Mhm.
supporting the wrong shelters.
Yes.
Okay. These two shelters are my two favorite.
Mhm.
Okay. I would definitely recommend these two shelters. Vincent de Paul in Oakland, okay, and the Women's Center in Houston, Texas,
Mhm.
okay. Miss Lee, I don't know who runs the St. Vincent's shelter. I'm not
Mhm.
sure who
Mhm.
the owner is, but I want to praise you
Mhm.
and your cook.
Mhm.
That was the smartest move you ever made,
Mhm.
and the food was delicious.
Mhm.
I have to
And
say,
in that sort of kind of really charged survival setting, having a good meal can reset
oh
and give
my
someone hope.
God.
Just the element of having a warm meal that someone took the time to care about and prepare for
And
someone.
the love, the
Yes.
way they talk to you with respect.
Yep.
There was no yelling. There was no
Nope.
nothing.
Nope.
No cross words. Nothing. It was
Yep.
all respectable.
Yep.
These two are my two favorites.
Cool.
They're in the top.
Because I think a huge part
And I've
of
been to 7 shelters.
yeah,
So-
and that's good.
I have more, but that'll be another tape.
Yeah. Well, I love this because the unsung heroes are what we need to look at in these scenarios because it makes or breaks the psyche of
Yes.
someone. Because no one's coming into a homeless shelter on a winning streak. To have someone treat them
Right.
like a human being makes them feel like a human being, gives them bonds, gives them connection, gives them a drive to want to actually accomplish something.
Right.
Instead of what we're
Pushes
looking at
you
right now
forward.
into this animalistic,
Yeah.
lonely society that lacks connection.
It's wow. It's really sad, but these two, highly recommend.
Yes.
They're my top 2.
And it only takes one person to make a
Yeah.
difference.
So yeah, Gale Resource Center
Yep.
in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Uh-huh.
I would not recommend this shelter.
Yes.
2 people died in this shelter, and no one is investigating.
Mhm.
And this lady's building 2 more shelters.
Mhm.
I would. When I arrived there, my urine turned from yellow to orange.
Hmm.
Whatever they put in the food, whatever they put in the water,
Yep.
the water was pasty. I put my fingers in the water. It was pasty. The water stuck together.
Hmm.
What are you putting in the food, Gail Miller?
Yes.
How are you going to build 2 more shelters
Mhm.
when everything I've said about your shelters cries out
Mhm.
to shut you down?
Mhm.
Why is no one investigating this lady?
It's the money.
Why is she building 2 more shelters when 2 people, male and female, died in her resource center, Gail Miller Resource Center in Salt Lake City, Utah?
Those people matter,
Doctors-
Gail.
Yeah, those people, they have family. Did you even bother to share their insurance with their loved ones, or did you keep it all?
Did you call them to tell
Did
them
you
they
even-
passed away?
Right. Did you bother to do anything?
Right. Because every human life deserves
I want to
dignity.
know why we're urinating when I got
Yes.
there orange.
Yes.
What did you put in my food
Yep.
that I'm still having problems and it's coming out in my nails?
Yes. This comes to mindless consumption. What are people that are oppressed that don't know any better being fed?
When you eat her food, my friend, he finished eating his food. He enjoyed it so much. He loved it. All he did was get up and go outside. He could not violently stop vomiting. It was so bad that I got scared for him after finish eating her food.
Mm-hmm.
Just kept vomiting and vomiting and vomiting and complaining of severe pain in his stomach. You have 50 of us in 3 different emergency rooms, and none of these health department, none of these hospitals have investigated this shelter, their food. You have not done anything.
Nope. You are not taken serious if you speak up against the man because you don't have the money to back it. Money somehow has become the
Oh,
credibility.
That's all it is. It's the money, their greed.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not being taken care of. I spoke about the purple room, men and women sleeping together in the purple room.
Which is
Are you
completely
going to
unsafe.
investigate?
Mhm.
When are you going to investigate?
That perpetuates a
It's
rape
going
culture.
on 2 years. When are you going to move your butts and do what you're supposed to do to protect us the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
This is about us.
Yes.
This is not about you
Yes.
and your sad, disgusting pockets being
Nope.
filled with money.
Nope.
This is our lives here.
Yep. And every life matters.
All of us were urinating orange, dark orange. If any doctor out there has any sense and actually gives a damn,
Mm-hmm.
can you please tell me what the hell this witch put in me, in
Mhm.
my food and my water?
Yes.
That
And
I'm still having problems.
so to the Food and Drug Administration, my question to you is, how are we auditing these government-funded facilities? Are we making sure that the food is up to standard for these human beings, or do these human beings just not matter?
I guess we don't matter.
Not
Because
enough to spend time on it.
She keeps getting away with it, and now she's building 2 more shelters. I hear on the news.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even investigated the first one. 2 people died in their sleeps.
She must be
What?
making money.
What did they die from? We never heard.
Mm-hmm.
What did they die from? Because the gentleman that died second, he was up and happy 2 days. I saw him before he died.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't sick.
Mm-hmm.
He had no problems whatsoever. Maybe something with his feet, but he was born like that.
Mhm.
But he wasn't sick.
Mhm.
So how did he die in your shelter, Gail Miller?
Mhm.
How did he die when he was up, happy, moving around, jumping around? How did he die? That
Mhm.
makes no sense. And you keep getting away with this.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to stop until you're investigated.
Mhm.
Even have to file charges myself on you.
Yep. And this also makes me believe, what are we doing on the policy of addiction management within the homeless community? Because of course, people that are without shelter and stable food and showers are going to go to drugs to try and be
I already
comforted.
told you, as a predator, I found a predator on her payroll, asking for sexual favors so the women can keep their beds. There's video in this room with 40 women naked on videos. And you know what? One of the staff had the audacity to tell us, at least they're not touching you.
Oh, wow.
That's what she said.
Wow.
At least they're not touching you. But everybody except for me, I would go in the shower and do what I had to do. I would not undress in that room.
But
There
let's talk
shouldn't
about
be
the
no
showers.
videos, cameras in that room.
Mhm.
Nothing but naked women.
Mhm.
Then they put a transgender who lied and said he was transgender only to get a bed because he admitted it. We told staff this man would sit up in his bed. They put him with us, the 40 women, would
Mhm.
sit up in his bed just to watch all the women undress and was not even a transgender. And we told staff, and they said that there was nothing they could do about it.
Mhm.
That's bullshit. That's a lawsuit right there, Gail.
Yes.
I'm
That
coming
is
for you.
dangerous.
What I experienced, the abuse in your shelter, you are not going to get away with this.
Yes, I completely agree. You bring up a very strong point about the necessity for guidelines in terms of gender identity. I am completely down with everyone expressing themselves in their own way, shape, or form,
When you
but it is
lie-
becoming unsafe.
when
It
you
is becoming
lie about it,
unsafe.
I don't have a problem with transgender. I don't have a problem if you gay. I support you. I
Sure.
think you guys are awesome.
But there's also a rape culture
Right.
that is cultivated by
But-
perverts
But
that want to get.
to lie
Yep.
just to watch naked women,
Mhm.
to be in a room with 40 women,
Yep.
and you're not even a transgender, and we told staff and they
Mhm.
ignore us.
But it's uncomfortable for them to confront it, so they just let it go.
Right. So we were actually 40 women and a man with one real man that could have raped and done whatever the hell
Yep.
he wanted.
Yep.
I didn't sleep. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
I
No,
didn't
how
sleep.
could you?
And I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So you answer that, Gail Miller. I want you to answer my questions. And I'm not going to stop until you do.
Yep. Hold them accountable.
Thank you. I'm done for today.
Okay.